everybody, welcome to Colorado Knits, knitting and stuff video channel. My name is Carrie, I am your host here. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at Colorado Knits, mostly on Instagram. You can get a hold of me by messaging me on those places or emailing me at hello@coloradoknits.net. And I have a blog that I sometimes update after some drama with my router here at coloradoknits.net. I am an avid knitter, crocheter, fiber crafter person, and I am guardian to 3 rescue dogs who are in the room right now and being a little ornery. This is like the 3rd time I've had to record it because they keep running into the camera. So hopefully Larry is on the ottoman here and will hopefully go to sleep. Penny is next to me and not leaning into me and knocking over the camera, and Veruca Salt keeps going in and out. So thanks for joining me. Today is Friday, January 28th, 2022. Requisite weather report. It snowed here yesterday like crazy, but it was so Colorado. It snowed starting about 9 a.m. By 3 p.m. it was sunny and beautiful. I was able to shovel and everything is not icy on my walkway and stuff because it dried it all out. So we like that, and it's supposed to be beautiful this weekend. So thanks for joining me. That's all the administrivia. And again, I'm sorry for looking around, but the dogs. This is the 2nd time I podcast with 3 dogs. We had just gotten Penny when we did the last podcast and everything was fine. Larry is starting to accept Penny, starting to accept her. We're still figuring out some boundaries and stuff. So that said, let's get to the stuff you probably came for, not my bad hair day and dog craziness, but knitting, crochet, and all the fibery goodness. So starting with some finished objects. I finished the corner to corner baby blanket, baby Afghan, for my husband's coworker, and I love it. It was completely addictive. And I used some Premier DK. I don't know, I ordered it online. It was inexpensive and simple and acrylic-y, so that it's a baby blanket. I'm not going to make it wool because mom doesn't need that. First time mom definitely doesn't need a wool baby blanket. And they don't know if they're having a boy or girl, so I made it very gender neutral. So that will be double washed. It will be dried first because that loosens dog hair, I've learned, and then washed and dried and wrapped up and sent to her. She does have dogs, so it's not the end of the world, but still, for a baby, they can have their dogs and not our dogs that they can build immunity to. So that was a super fun super fun project. Super quick, did it in a week, out a week. So got it in and out of my stash super fast. And of course I want to do all the crochet again. I started as a crocheter years and years and years ago when I was about 5. And I absolutely love doing it. It is not as versatile maybe as knitting, but I really do love it. And it's funny because when I was making this blanket, all I saw were the diagonal shells. But then when you actually put it the way it's supposed to go, it's this beautiful square pattern. So it's funny, the kind of Escher's perspective. So totally recommend. This is just like some generic corner to corner Afghan pattern that you can find on everyone's blogs for free. So recommend that. Finished a bunch of socks. Just wanted to finish up partially used skeins. I am that person. I hate not using all of the yarn in a skein. I have a couple of skeins that are just driving me batty because I have 18 grams left of them and they're pretty unique, like self-striping. Can't do anything with them. But the ones that I had more of, I finished. So I finished 3 pair of socks. I finished, these are Turkish bed socks that I finished out of the Cozy Knitter 24 stripe Advent. And I was lucky, I managed to find a mini that matched pretty darn well with it because I didn't quite have enough for the entire sock. But I love these to wear with my clogs and my loafers. I can actually use them as cycling shoes, which I absolutely love because I have about 50 pair of these, and they wear so well. They're wool, so they wear fantastic. Speaking of wool, Kate Atherley was talking on Twitter the other day about how we always want merino for all of our knits. And this is merino, but it's not super smooth merino. It's a little more rustic. And that's what you want in socks. As much as you think you want the super soft, super lovely merino, if you want them to last, you want a little more rustic wool. I don't really care because I knit socks like they're going out of style. It's basically all I knit. So I use super soft merino as well, but these should last a very long time. And that is Turkish bed socks by Church Mouse Yarns. I have done them 1,000 times. You can find them in all my show notes and on Ravelry. Church Mouse has available on Ravelry and off the pattern for, I think, like $6 American bucks. I did 2 pair of Under the Boardwalk Footies, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I do not believe the designer makes it available off Ravelry. It's very basic. It is a heel flap and gusset shorty sock with a couple of short rows on the back of the heel, which I love because they stay up. I actually incorporated these short rows into my Turkish bed socks because I have 1 pair of loafers that I have to have a higher heel than the Turkish bed sock is standard. So the first one I did is Nashville Nights. This is from Desert Vista Dye Works. It's like a 75-25, and I made it almost to the end of the second sock, and I had to go grab some sort of mini that I had to wrap it up. But I'd made full length socks of these before. This is a yarn where the blue is very blue, very blue. So I need to wash these with a color catcher and keep them separate with my darks. And I actually have a new pair of jeans that have a really heavy dye on them. So I'll be washing those with those. Again, they're super wash. Not too rustic. They're 75-25 as well, I believe. But I bought this on a D-stash a year ago. Finished the other socks in November and just love these. They're so cute. They're so my colors. And then the third pair of socks that I finished were another pair of Under the Boardwalk Footies. These are from Turtle Pearl yarn in the trench coat colorway, which is the Burberry-esque colorway, and they came out like seriously identical. And that's because she gives you 2 skeins of identical yarn, and I thankfully started them almost exactly in the same spot as well. I made a full-length pair of these for my mom for her Christmas present, because she once gave me one of her hand-me-down Burberry jackets that we lost in our great smokeout of 2019. But love these. They're super cute. If you want super soft socks, Turtle Pearl, way to go. Hers are super, super soft. And I'm excited to wear these. I actually wore a whole outfit yesterday while I knit these that looked like this. I was on an all-day conference yesterday and finished the second sock without a problem. So that's all I finished. It's only been 2 weeks, but I've been working on some other things. This is going to be a nice short podcast unless I go off on a rant or something. So on the needles, I am finishing up this is Artistic Yarn by Abby. This is the Dios de los Muertos colorway. I have to weave in some ends with contrasting fish lips kiss heel, 64 stitches. I finished the first one without a problem, and I have 4 rows left on the second one, and then I will be able to count this as coming out of my stash for the month. I have probably 40 grams left, maybe even more. I haven't weighed it yet till I finish, but I have to, I don't have to do anything. I have to weigh it, and then I will make a pair of Under the Boardwalk shorties and a pair of Turkish bed socks, probably with Abby's yarn. I can usually get 3 socks out of a skein if I do contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. Probably have enough for the toes in this black, but I'll probably do pink to go along with this crazy great pink, or I have a purple from Always Be Kind yarn. So those are my on the needles. I really want to get those finished up for my goal, which I will talk about later. Other on the needle things, I am really trying to purge things, like get rid of half-finished projects. And this is a little pair. I'm using 8-inch circulars on these. 8, not 9. These are Addy 8-inch circulars. These are Socks on a Plane, using Lorna's laces. She has stopped dyeing yarn. Love Lorna's laces though. That was the first sock yarn I ever bought, was Lorna's laces. This I got in a grab bag from Jimmy Bean's Wool a couple of years ago. And Socks on a Plane is just a really simple little cable. I'm not a cable person, so I'm really thinking these might be short socks. I did use a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I have never done a shorter Fish Lips Kiss heel. I might make these ankle socks. I'm just not sure. They're very Valentine's Day-ish, so maybe I should get working on these. They have been 2-3 years in process. And again, because it's not really striping yarn, it's kind of pooling variegated, I didn't do any heels, toes, and cuffs. It comes in 2 50-gram little hanks. So I'm gonna just use, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm minimally going to finish this sock, whatever length it is, and then they make a cute pair of Turkish bed socks too. On the hook, I also have my Karen Cake corner to corner Afghan, and I have to weigh it because it's going to go totally by weight. This will just sit in a gift box and be for someone. But again, it's going to have that nice box shape. It doesn't look like it now, especially with the stripes going diagonally. It doesn't really look boxy at all. But this was a Karen Cake that I had in stash, and I would be super happy to work on this all weekend and get it out of stash and complete it. So that's what I have on the needles. Coming up next, I apparently have Karen Cake all over myself. Coming up next, I have 28 grams of this, I think. I measured it yesterday. This is Always Be Kind. No, Always Be Kind. This is, oh, who is this dyer? Dye For You out of Canada. And this is Cozy Up with JoJo from the Cozy Up Knit family. And it's got grays and then 4 colors. They got pink, green, blue, and purple. And I made a pair of leg warmers out of this because it's almost a sport weight. It's almost a sport weight yarn. It's super plump. And so I need to figure out what I am going to make with it. It looks like I decided, oh, those were those needles. I'm going to make a pair of Under the Boardwalk hoodies with it, apparently, because I put that pattern in this bag last night. I had a Rogue 9-inch circular hanging out here, and I think that was from this bag. I think I'm going to use a US 1 on this and use the smaller size though. So the bag is by Amelia X Joy, and she is a bag maker out of the UK, and she has really moderately priced bags. Like, she needs to raise her prices. And shipping is surprisingly quick to get here. I have like 20 of her bags because right now she had a sale on Etsy the other day. There were $7 American. $7 American, that's like 5 pounds or something. And then you just pay the shipping, and even seriously, her shipping is not bad at all. So I have a bunch of her bags. Other things, this is the month of socks, and they're all Valentine's themed socks. I received my artistic yarn by Abby, and I'm sorry I wound it up already because I wanted to get it started as soon as I finished my Dios de los Muertos. I received my monthly subscription, and this month was Valentine's Day. It's kind of a vintage Valentine's Day with the pinks, reds, and that baby blue. And those will be regular socks, probably 3 pair, the usual suspects. And it came with this lovely powder blue mini. For her sock club, you get a full skein of 463 yards, I think. She might be a 428 base. And then a 20-gram mini as well. So I can, like I said, I can usually get 3 pair out of that. And finally, yesterday, as I sat on an all-day conference knitting my Burberry socks, I stared at my yarn stash all day long. It was just staring at me over the shoulder. And I have so freaking much yarn I need to knit. And I have made myself like a couple of pairs of socks. Let's see, I made my husband a pair of socks in this colorway or a similar one. I've made myself a pair of socks in this colorway or a similar one. And I don't really need another one. And I have 2 different but similar colorways. This is Felici Beyond the Wall. They've released this type of colorway with the grays, blues, and blacks every couple of years. And for some reason, well, I know because I buy the whole palette of colors every couple of years, but they're just good gender neutral socks. I'm going to make a sock head for my husband out of it. Last night I had him try on one of my sock heads. He can wear the same size, but it needs to be a little longer. I don't care if he wants it or not. He's going to get it. And it actually is probably going to be my weekend project because we're going to a concert next week. And it is supposed to go from 40 today to like 0 on Tuesday and Wednesday. We have 2 concerts back to back. We never go out. We're complete introverts. We've had these tickets for months. And they are 2 rock/metal bands, and we're super excited to see them. And provided it doesn't snow so much on Tuesday that the crew can't get here, we have concerts Tuesday, Wednesday. So I thought this is a good hat because sock heads are so compact. Like, they're not big and burly, so you can just roll it up, throw it in your pocket, and it's no big deal. If he doesn't want it, it'll go in my charity thing to give away. But sock heads are quick, mindless brewery knitting, or we have football this weekend, so football knitting. This is not in a project bag. It's in an Erin Condren bag. I don't know what came in this, but it's just in a bag. And I do my sock heads on a US 2. The thing about my sock heads, and I feel like I can give away the secret sauce because it's a free pattern by Kelly McClure. Mine's supposed to be 11 inches long, which is conveniently a piece of paper. So I just mark 4 inches of the ribbing or whatever it is. And so that's about 4 inches. And I like mine 11 inches long. So then I just go till the hat is as big as a piece of paper. And the only reason I really have the pattern is because it's got the decreases. And of course it tells me how many stitches to cast on. But it's such a good mindless project. I made myself like 3 or 4 of them last year. So, and that is it. Oh my gosh, those are all the things I have cute. I did try to frog a sweater this morning before work. I tried and tried. It does not want a frog. Apparently I did a super good job of weaving in my ends. And it just doesn't want to frog. So I gave up on that because I realized I have enough yarn. I can knit a sweater in anything. And as much as I want to re-knit that sweater, and I love the navy blue, I have that same yarn in gray. I'm looking at it over there. I have that same yarn in gray and kind of a stovepipe black. Larry Dog is licking the camera stand, so apologize for any shaking. So that is, that's something I want to cast on, but I want to get through all these socks. I feel like I have all these half-finished projects. I have several skeins of yarn. Sorry, stepping off camera. I have several minis that are striped that I don't like putting them in my corner-to-corner crochet Afghan. I like the look of the speckles and solids. So I took my little box that my router came in because it's a cool little box. And I took all of my striping yarn that is under 20 grams. So I can't make a pair of Turkish bed socks out of it. I don't know. I'm sure I can make Christmas ornaments or something. Gnomes, I don't do fiddly things like those. So I'm putting them together for their own corner-to-corner Afghan. That'll start someday. This yarn, I have 18 grams left. I made leg warmers out of this last year. This is from Yarns, Brenda and Heather, and I love it. And I just wish I had more, but I would need like half of the foot. If I did Turkish bed socks, would be a contrasting color, which is just silly. So, so I'm saving those and taking them out of my stash and putting them in this box. And they're also out of sight when they're in the box, so they will not give me must finish anxiety, which is what I get. I look at all these partial skeins and think, I gotta use that. I have more than enough full skeins to not have to worry about using the partials, but yeah. And I'm still subscribed to Artistic Yarn by Abby's monthly club, as well as Row 1 Yarns. And then I totally forgot Apple Yarns out of Bellevue, Washington, one or the other. I'm watching the dog. He's going to jump off the ottoman and knock the camera. I signed up for their sock club and prepaid their sock club at Thanksgiving. and I should be getting my first shipment probably next week. So I need to figure out how I'm going to knit down some of my stash, and that's going to mean maybe canceling all of my subscriptions. I did prepay for Apple Yarns, so that's coming regardless. But as much as I love Artistic Yarn by Abby, I see 5 skeins of hers I have up there, plus a skein on my floor right here. I think I got enough to get me through, and I might want to take a hiatus from that yarn club for a couple months, and the same with row 1. I did pause row 1 and then forgot to continue to pause it, so it's coming at the end of the month as well. That takes me to my 2022 goals. Everybody, this is the time of year when all the podcasters say, oh, here's what I made in 2021. I have no idea what I made in 2021. I put some of it on Ravelry, put some of it on my blog, and then there are things like the sweater that I made in August that turned out too big that I didn't even bother to put down what size needles I made it with. So I was all excited because I have a total swatch. I had knit it, washed it. It's acrylic. I don't need to block it. I know exactly how, what it's going to look like when I put it into a different sweater that fits me better. And then I realized I did not write down at all the needle size. I know it was 7s because I remember doing the arms on 9 or 12-inch circulars, 12-inch circulars, and I only have those in 7s. So that's the good news there. I'm pretty sure it's 7s. So I'm going to make a weekender out of that. But I have been tracking in my Silk and Sonder planner my stash in and out. My goal for 2022 is to knit more than I buy. So that means every month right now I have to knit at least 2 full pair of socks with approximately 900 yards of sock yarn, or something with the sock yarn, because I'm getting Artistic Yarn by Abby and Apple Yarns in every single month. For January, I did pretty well. I got the baby blanket in and out. I mean, I had 1 gram of baby blanket yarn left, so I threw that away. That was 1,100 yards in and out, but because it was in and out, it doesn't matter. It could have been 3 yards. I also got in 2 Artistic Yarn by Abby shipments. I got my December one came January 2nd, and my January one came January 15th. So I brought in another 1,000 yards, give or take. So that wasn't good. The good news is I did get as I mentioned, the baby blanket out. I got the holiday socks. I finished the full length socks as well as the Turkish bed socks, which is about 500 yards. So that takes off one of the Artistic Yarn by Abby's. I finished the Nashville Nights and the trench coats, which were about 165 each. I know you don't really care about the details. Which means when I finish these Dios de los Muertos socks, I will be net negative for the month. And that does not include the Star Stitch blanket, which I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to count because it was a bunch of minis and I finished most of it before the end of the year. So I finished it like on January 5th or something. So I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to count that. So I am going to be net negative for the first month, and I'm going to see what I can do to be more mindful in my purchases. I've been very good about that. I see stuff on Instagram and I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that. So trying to be mindful. My birthday is in February. And I do have a $25 gift certificate to one of the local yarn shops I got from my Secret Santa. So there may be some buying, but I'm going to really try to be very, very mindful. And I have a couple of shawls I want to knit. So I'm looking because one is caked up, pattern, needles, everything is in that bag ready to start that shawl. I just need to finish these socks. And then I've got, like I said, the sock head hats and stuff like that. So I am doing okay. It's January on my goal. Other than that, I really don't have any goals this year. More out than in. And, I'm going to think about how I consider that more out than in. Do minis count? Do swaps count? Things like that. So that's all the knitting content, which is pretty remarkable for me. That was 24 minutes, so it wasn't fast. And there's very little dog drama. So onto the stuff some of you care about and some of you don't. Rants and raves. Yays and nays, as I call them. My yays this week. My first yay is going to be my Polka Dot Wall. My office now looks like an 8-year-old lives in it. And you know what? I'm okay with that. It is like, I put these I had a meeting yesterday, as I mentioned, and I had a break, 45-minute break at 10 a.m. because it was an East Coast time meeting. And I wasn't ready for lunch or brunch or whatever. So I ordered these a couple weeks ago, and I've been too lazy to put them up. And I put up little polka dots all over my wall here. And it was such a fun little project. My husband would have died because I was standing on my swivel chair trying to get up to the ceiling. He would have been screaming at me. But they're just super happy. Like this room is very white as it is. It has white blinds. It has white closet doors. It's all white. With like a light beige rug. And then I have my pink durry in here. So it's very feminine. And so I felt silly buying these, but I just love them. They were like $8 on Amazon. So they're little vinyl things. So that's a definite yay. Another yay, I'll say it's a work win, is I got my website launched at the beginning of January, and calls to our program and interest in vocational training partners are significantly up. Vocational training, we've never had any information about it on our website, and I added a page and we already have a lead on that. And we have had more people calling us interested in our program, which is just wonderful, obviously for themselves, but it also proved that my idea of calls to action on every single page, which they kind of cringed at first. Everybody's like, that's just giving, like, that's asking a lot. I'm like, well, people are seeking help, so we want to make it easy for them to get help. So I'm very excited about that. I still need to improve it and make changes in it, but it is a good feeling to know that I'm helping our program grow. I had a whole ton of yays. I don't know. It has been a heck of a week. I don't like to go on some nays, but the nay of the week would be my internet. Last Friday, I worked from home, and I found out that my podcast from 2 weeks ago didn't ever upload, and I couldn't figure out why. It just was stalled at 99%. So I tried to upload it again. I got it to work, but I went to go put it on the website, and I couldn't pull up my website. So I went to my hosting company and my domain company. I asked on Twitter, and people could totally pull up. They had the same internet provider that I did. So they, after talking with Comcast, where they didn't think I knew what I was talking about, they're like, oh, try doing this, try doing that. I'm like, no, it works fine if I take it and go on my 5G in my neighborhood. So they sent me a new router, or a new modem, which has been sitting in my living room since Monday. And so that's a nay, but a yay, because I got it set up yesterday. It was not difficult, but we got, and thankfully Comcast automatically saved my password, so I didn't have to go through any setup, and it attached to all of my appliances. So all of the Google Minis and my Alexas and my television all worked, which is great. Unfortunately, I have to remember all my passwords for all my apps, because most of those got logged out, like my Apple TV and my Hulu and all that stuff. Another yay, I would say, and I'm late to the game on this because that was my nay, and I'm only going to do one nay. Another yay, I joke that I hate everything. Like, I am just such the pragmatist and the stoic. I don't really hate everything, but so finding TV shows, I like dumb rom-coms. My husband hates them. Anything World War II, he is down with. We have every possible streaming service almost. My mom wanted Disney Plus for something, Hamilton or something, so we got that. And we have ESPN Plus and Nat Geo. We have Netflix. We have HBO Max because my mom has HBO. We have Showtime. We have Hulu. I have you name it almost, we have it. And I think I even got Discovery Plus for free. So I have 10,000 channels plus all the ones on cable, and there's never anything on TV. We found Ted Lasso, like everybody. We found Acapulco. If you haven't seen that, it's super cute. My dog is over here scratching herself, and she's nibbling her paw, but yet she has that moment where she finds the spot that makes her itch. She's just going crazy. And then last night we finally we tried to watch The Shrink Next Door, and it is so uncomfortable. Love Will Ferrell, love Paul Rudd. It's such an uncomfortable topic about boundaries, and unethical psychiatrists and stuff and working in addiction recovery. It just made me so unhappy. So we watched 2 episodes and we kind of sat there shifting in our sofa and we changed it. We watched, this is what I'm late to, Only Murders in the Building. And it is absolutely wonderful. I love Steve Martin, love Martin Short. Know nothing about Selena Gomez, except I think she had a kidney transplant and that she dated Justin Bieber or something. I don't know. But it's absolutely adorable. And I'm not a true crime person. I think my husband deep down kind of is because he likes like First 48. But we actually watched 2 episodes and he stayed up later than he had planned because he got into it. So to see him like television is like nice. There's going to be a baseball lockout and baseball's our thing and it's supposed to start in 16 days. It's not going to start in 16 days. So that's frustrating to us because that's our thing. It's our background noise. We put it on. It's great knitting. But we had to find some more things to watch. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Drop me a line at hello@coloradoknits.net. Put it in the comments below, whatever. Of good shows, I'm trying to get, I want to watch W1A, I think it's called. It's about the BBC, but there was a precursor to it called 2012, about the 2012 Olympics in Boston, or excuse me, in London, and I really want to see that. I don't know that my husband will like it. He has a hard time hearing the dialogue, and it's going to have a thick British accent. So if you have suggestions, dark comedies are our absolute favorites. We loved Pushing Daisies. We loved Suburgatory. So those sort of dark comedies are probably my go-to. So any suggestions you have, I would greatly appreciate. If you know what streaming service it's on, let me know. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great week. I'm trying to get back to twice a month podcasting on Fridays when I work from home. I hope that you are staying safe during Omicron and the secret Omicron, like the non-detectable new variant they've found. Wear your mask, get vaccinated, get boosted, wash your hands, smile under your mask, be super nice to your grocery store employees. Ours just went on strike here and they resolved it, and so happy they're back at work because I need groceries. And I hope, as Salty Joe would say, I hope your knitting is good to you. Take care, everybody. I will talk to you soon.